I'm definitely going to have to start drinking again.
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th.
What is up, chocolatiers? I feel like I lost a friend today. Landman Season 2 has ended. By the way, hit that like and subscribe button, please. We're almost at 900 subs. And I just came to the conclusion that it's official. I've joked around. Last year, you probably saw Landman Season 1 review. Mayor Kingstown reviewed that Season 4, I believe. And I just keep reviewing. Keep reviewing his shows, Taylor Sheridan. And I've enjoyed them for the most part. You know, Landman Season 1 I thought was great. The majority of Yellowstone I thought was pretty good. Actually, I was just going to say all of it. I had problems with the final season, but I still thought it was pretty good. Mayor Kingstown, while it had, for me, a lacking Season 3, I thought Season 4 is bringing it back to home. But here we are. Here we are. And now I can wholeheartedly say that what I've been saying is correct. I say it in every video of Taylor Sheridan shows. He is the white Tyler Perry. I hate to break that to you. He is. I think that he's kind of like a modern day TV show version of Kevin Feige, where he is kind of, really split. And when you think about it, like, look at all the shows I named off. You got 1883, which doesn't come on anymore, but it did, like the one season. You had 1923, which I believe ended, was that early last year? He's got The Madison, which is like a Yellowstone spinoff with nobody from that show in that. They've got the 460 show they're working on. He's got Y Marshals, the Casey Dutton show. He still does Spec Ops, Lioness, and this and that. And I get he's not fully the writer on these, and some of these he is producing some episodes or producing just the whole season. Tulsa King is an example of that. But even still, you can feel that there's a little bit of pull and the quality's starting to dip. And so that's what's happening with Landman Season 2. Not going to fully get into all of the plot details. I'm not going to spoil anything for you if you do want to watch this. Because there is a lot to enjoy here still. And even though I'm a little bit down starting out right here, this is still a show that I like. This is not a show that I dislike whatsoever. It's just, it has so many problems, and it's problems that I have to touch on. I can't put my bias here. Like even like Tron Ares, right? Wasn't Tron Legacy in the slightest. There was some things I liked about it as a Tron fan, but I had to be honest. I had to remove that away from that side, and as a critic tell you that it was just all right. And so that's kind of what I'm having to do here, because basically this show kind of like, wraps up from Season 1. If you didn't watch Season 1, there will be light spoilers here. I guess I'll just say full spoilers because I'm going to talk about a character death. So Monty dies. That is the John Hamm character. Now, people got mad he killed off his character. I know John Hamm goes everywhere and saw that, but I kind of feel like that has something to do with him doing Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV, especially with Season 2 about to come around the corner. It seems like they're filming that where they can put that out every year. And so even with him, guest starring on here or there, I feel like you can't be in like 6 episodes out of like a 10-episode show somewhere else, right? And so I feel like that's why he killed him off, got rid of him. And so you've got Demi Moore taking over, and you've got Tommy helping her out, right? And while all of this stuff is going on, and while this, whatever, you have Cooper's storyline, which is Tommy's son. And Cooper is kind of like got his old stuff going on. Everywhere he picks, he's hitting a gold mine, right? And that's kind of the plot. That's kind of it. Not a lot of stuff happens, and it pisses me off because the show gets really fucking good in the last 2 episodes. And I was like, I had to wait 8 episodes to get to episode 9 and 10 where this shit was getting really good, where they were really cooking. So let's just talk about my big complaints with this show, and let's quit beating around the bush, right? I hope you hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you did. So let's talk about, let's just go family to family, right? Let's talk about Cooper and Ariana first. So most of the women in this show, which I'm going to touch on later, I kind of have a problem with, not because they're bad as hell. I'll give you that. Taylor knows how to pick a baddie. Like he do shit. But outside of like the lawyer character, who's kind of like a lawyer version of like Beth Dutton, he knows how to write strong and powerful women, right? But in this show, my God, I don't know why they regressed everybody in this show. And I'm mainly just picking out the women because at least Tommy and them got some stuff to do, whatever. But like Ariana in this show, right? Cooper has done everything for her. He has done everything for this woman. Don't know why she wants to go get a job. Okay, that's cool. Be independent. Think about it. That's how most rich people keep their money. You got to keep working. You got to keep getting more money. You can't just stop. So I understand. Tell me why she becomes the most insufferable character this season. I've seen so many complaints about her character over others, and at first I was kind of defending it, but by the end of the season, I'm still like, no. Like, I don't dislike her in any means, but they're getting me there. So for example, there's like a whole episode where her and Cooper are talking about potentially getting married, and basically they are going to get married, probably the next season or whatever. And she literally basically has him running around all day long, talking to her dad, doing blah, blah, whatever, like these BS errands, just for her dad to be like, oh, that's up to her. And basically this was just a test. And it's like, what are we testing me for? What, like, have I not proved, I've gotten you money? I take care of your kids. I do this. I'm not saying he's owed anything, because I already hear those people chiming in right now in this review. He doesn't owe her. I'm not saying that. But he also is not deserved of this type of treatment. What the fuck are we doing? Okay? I get it. But she ain't gotta act like that. It's just stupid. Like, the amount of times he gets tested in this show, or like the amount of times where she's like, I don't know if this is working out. And it's like, Buddy just like got off like a shift, okay? Where he's like over here, you know, working his ass off, making a millions. And she's got a problem. Now, the bigger complaint with their relationship is, where's her baby? Now, I will say this, I have an answer for you, because they did kind of touch on this in like episode 2. Apparently, next door, grandma, whoever keeps her. I was like, okay, cool. Would you believe that that's not her grandmother? That's the grandmother of the man that she was with prior, before he died. Cooper has to go talk to her. I was like, Jesus, leave this boy alone. Has he not been through enough? No, he hasn't. And instead of us getting into the ins and outs of him making his money, starting his company, going through this, going through that, whatever, it's just like Saturday Night with the Joneses. He's just got to like, every time we see him, it's just him and her fussing, him going through this, him about to cry because I don't blame him. And I'm just kind of confused, because I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, can we get to the plot of what he's doing? Now I'm going to tackle the big dogs, because that's all side plot, right? We'll talk about Allie Carter and Michelle Randolph later. By the way, both baddies. I want them to know this if you're watching this. Michelle Randolph, love you. Allie Carter, you know what? Love you too. Okay, love you. So Tommy and Demi Moore button heads. Demi Moore is trying to do stuff with the guy that we met last season. The Hispanic guy who, like, you know, maybe is like into some shady stuff, whatever. And clearly Tommy is like, hey, I'm just going to tell you, because that's what a character would do. I will say that I love how the writing does that. That's one positive that I really love about this show, is how instead of like because I hate how shows or movies, whatever, you'll have like a character who knows somebody and they're like, I'm just not going to say anything. No, speak up, please. And that's what Tommy does. Tommy goes to Demi Moore. He's like, Demi Moore. He's like, I need you to understand, girl, please. This guy is shady. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Why, Demi? Why? Demi Moore plays the most insufferable character I've ever seen. I'm going to stand to that. I've probably seen more. I'm going to stand to, like, this woman, you can tell her right now, right? You can say, armed people are coming with guns. They're going to kill you. You have nowhere to go, but we can bring a helicopter and we can fly you out to safety. And she'll be like, no, I can fight them. It's like that type of stupidity. It's like, no, you can't, Demi Moore. Stop. They're telling her to sell this company because John Hamm ran to shit, right? He was basically making deals, getting money for those deals to pay off debts, getting debts again, it was just like an endless circle of shit. And so they should probably just sell it off and cut their losses and make some profit. And she can live the rest of her life still pretty cozy. And she's like, no, actually. Why, Demi? Why are you acting like this? And so I just, like I said, mainly just a writing problem this season, I feel like. Especially when you look at, now we're talking about Allie Carter and Michelle Randolph's characters, who is the mother and daughter in the show. They're just borderline, they have nothing to do. And the first season's kind of funny because it's like, okay, like, you know, Allie Carter's coming back into Tommy's life. The daughter is also kind of coming with her. And they had some funny moments last season. But this season, it's really just like, if you cut everything from them, it really changes nothing. Michelle Randolph gets a scene at school that is so unnecessary. Mainly one at the beginning with a counselor, then one at the end with a roommate and counselor. And I was like, if we cut all this, nothing changes. Why is this here? And I get it. It's adding laughs. It's fun. And once again, that is why I want to say this isn't a full negative review and why I do still really love the show. Because I admit, those are funny moments. I was laughing. I was like, hey, that's nice. That's why I actually do appreciate the mother and daughter, because I saw a lot of people online talk about how they couldn't stand their characters. To me, that pulls away from all the stress. Whenever a show does really good, especially in the middle episodes this season, when things are riling up, tensions are going crazy, especially like episode 9 and 10, it's nice to cut to them and have some stupidity with Michelle Randolph's character, or have Allie Carter say something crazy, or have a stupid pirate dinner. I really like that, and I don't think that should change, actually. So for me, I think it's a positive that they're included, and I really do like their characters. But for next season, they've got to fix the other things. They need to get, even like that, they are implying that they're going to give Cooper more to do, thank God, outside of just being, I don't even know what you'd equate that to. He's just kind of like a yes man this season, where he's just like, okay, like, you want me to go get bullied? Like this girl's like bullying him, basically, is what's happening. And it's just crazy. And that's what's so crazy. I've talked all these crazy things. I ain't even touched on Sam Elliott. Best part of the show. Sam Elliott comes into play playing Tommy's father. And man, oh man, he has some comedic scenes towards the end. But even that, that's why I love how they're kind of doing comedy, because his comedic scenes towards the end of the season, or the later half, I should say, around like episodes 7 through 10, they're comedic while adding some emotional beats and some story, because, he hasn't, necessarily held a touch of a woman or talked to somebody in years, or really kind of felt any kind of connection. And so while it is done for laughs, you also have those sweet moments where, like, he's laying in a pool and talking to this girl and doing stuff. And so those are really cool. And I really love Sam Elliott. I love him and everything he plays in. And I love where they are going with this season. But the problem is, they didn't set any of this stuff up to episode 9 and 10. Even like that, they have some crazy shit that goes on in episode 10 that's set up because of episode 9. I feel like episode 9 and 10 are the best episodes of this season, and then maybe you can wrap out episode 1 and maybe some of 2. But that leaves 3 through 8 to be desired. It's a lot of, all you got is Tommy driving to Midland, and then he drives back, and then his wife will call. And that's the show. That'll be like an episode, and then every other episode, they'll cut to Cooper and Ariana doing their thing, and whenever they want you to laugh, they'll be like, here's the daughter and mother. And that's it. And it's just one of those things where first season, it was like, okay, I'm liking this. This is funny. He's like, I need a Dr. Pepper. This stuff was awesome. And I was like, man, this is awesome. But 2 seasons in a row of this, especially this season where you're giving no real story, and the story that you are giving, it's just like little ounces. Like, even like that, nothing really gets accomplished. There's something crazy that kind of happens in episode 9. That's it. And then they open up a new storyline in episode 9 and they kind of close in 10. And so nothing really, I feel like major happens until the end of the show. There's not any crazy emotional beats with a whole lot of characters, except for like Sam Elliott and actually, ironically, a lawyer character, which I think she's my favorite character in the show. Every time she's on screen, she has a presence. She means business, and she is awesome. Definitely one of my favorite characters, like I said, if not my favorite character in the show. I just feel like we need to do something else instead of like kind of like this funny soap opera thing. And that's why I keep saying the white Tyler Perry, because if you've seen any modern Tyler Perry show, I haven't seen one in a while, thank God. Literally, they'll have an episode where somebody will be like, are you selling drugs? And like the dude's like, no, I ain't selling drugs. And they'll say that shit back and forth for 5 minutes, like just to get runtime. And that's how I feel like the Tommy driving to Midland thing is. He'll be like, I'm headed that way. And he'll start driving. He'll get a call from the wife. They'll fuss for like 5 minutes. And then like the next 5 minutes, he'll be like, what happened? Turn around. And he'll turn around. He'll drive back. They'll cut to Cooper and Ariana doing the same shit they've been doing for 3 episodes. They'll cut to the lawyer trying to give her a romance because they're trying to give her something to do instead of just leaving her alone because she's actually perfect how she is. And then they're doing that. Then they'll cut back to him. He's like, damn it, I handled this situation. I'm going back to Midland. And he'll go back. I'm just like, Jesus, I need them to do more. I hope that this is Mayor of Kingstown Season 3. A season I thought was okay, not bad, not super great either. And I hope that Season 3 can be a fucking slam dunk. They can come back. We've seen it happen. Because like I said, Mayor of Kingstown, I love the last season. I thought it was fucking awesome. And so, I'm definitely still a fan of his shows. It's just I'm starting to notice that decline. I'm starting to notice same shit, different day, basically. Like, it's like every episode is kind of just like a version of the same thing that happened, with not a lot of changes and not a lot of results. And so I'm hoping that we can get those changes and results. I know that I talked mostly negative about this. I don't think this is still a bad show. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's just that it's good when it was great. Like, season 1, I think, is a perfect 8.5, maybe even a 9, depending on how much you liked it. And I feel like this show is just, I'm like, it's just above average. Like, it's good. It's just, could have been great, man. Especially with the John Hamm stuff. I thought we were going to get like a whole lot of emotion. So that, and even like that, they touch on that with Demi Moore. They start to give her layers, but it's for like 1 episode. And that's it. That's it. That's all you get. And so, I don't know, man. I just really hope that we can get more character depth. It seems like they're done with the Ariana and Cooper crap. So maybe they'll go through, because I like the characters still. Maybe they'll just do more next season with them. I think Allie Carter, like I said, I think her and Michelle Randolph are perfectly fine. Because they add comedic. Like they add like the comedic elements when it's needed. Now there are some moments, like especially like this episode, the final episode in particular, where Allie Carter's acting goofy, and I'm like, this ain't the time. Yeah, I still love this show. I still have faith in this show, and I hope that it can be better, because like I think most of the current shows that's coming on right now are pretty good when it comes to the Taylor Sheridan, whatever. I think Y Marshall's looks pretty decent. Hoping the Madison's gonna be pretty good. I've never seen Michelle Pfeiffer or Kurt Russell in anything necessarily really bad, so that should be pretty good. And so yeah, like, subscribe for more. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this season. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.